I'm Brandon Thurston from Wrestlenomics, and today, usually we try to avoid talking about politics or religion. But today, I'm going to talk about Wrestlemania attendance. And it turns out, using just math and some of the numbers that WWE has reported publicly, we can determine what the range of the paid attendance for each WrestleMania going back to 2008 was. And how do we figure it out? Is it super secret information that's been reported by the dirt sheets? No, it's WWE's own, it's over here, its own Key Performance Indicators. My favorite WWE corporate document, which anyone can access. It's on a public website, corporate.wwe.com. It's a document that WWE updates every quarter, and a document that somebody like me has collected going back over the years. The slide that we're concerned with today is the live attendance slide, where WWE shows the North American attendance, the international attendance, average attendances, and the number of events. And today we're going to be concerned with the North America attendance, since WrestleMania has always occurred in North America. Sorry, UK fans. And if you notice, this instance from 2016, there are a number of gray call-out bubbles showing the average attendance, including WrestleMania and excluding WrestleMania. And since WrestleMania 32 in 2016 is probably the most controversial one, we'll concern ourselves with that for an example. So that's the red bar here. And we'll just gray out the other bars so we can focus on the data points that are important to figuring out the actual paid attendance of WrestleMania 32 at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. So we can see from the slide that there's an average attendance with WrestleMania of 6,600, and we know that there's an average attendance without WrestleMania of 5,400, but those numbers are rounded to the nearest 100, so that means that the actual exact number is somewhere in a range. And using my basic rounding skills, I determine that it's between the ranges that you see now on the screen. We know that the number of events with WrestleMania is 62, and we know that the number of events without WrestleMania is just one fewer, 61. So just to slide all of that over, now we're going to figure out the total attendance based on the average and based on the number of events. Again, this is kind of complicated, but it's pretty basic elementary math here. To determine the total attendance without WrestleMania, we multiply the number of events by the range of the average. And we get the range of total attendance illustrated here, well over 300,000. And then with WrestleMania, we just multiply the 62 events by the range of the average with WrestleMania. We get that result there, well over 400,000. And now, to determine the range of the paid attendance for WrestleMania 32 with its alleged 100,000 fans, now we will subtract. So here we get a result of 73,711. That is the lowest possible paid attendance based on these numbers for WrestleMania 32. Then we just do the other series, and we get a result of 85,888 as the highest possible paid attendance at WrestleMania 32. And now we can say with certainty that the paid attendance at WrestleMania 32 is somewhere between 74,000 and 86,000. And the median of that range is 79,800. Round up, that's about 80,000. So about 80,000 tickets were sold, somewhere again between 74,000 and 86,000. But as you probably know, the announced attendance at WrestleMania 32 in 2016 was 101,763. And in the case of this WrestleMania in particular, I contacted the Arlington police and asked them what the attendance was at WrestleMania 32, and they responded and told me that the count of attendees through the turnstiles was 80,709. Now, even in light of that, if you still have some doubts, well, according to Vince McMahon,
in addition to that, just a little bit more color WrestleMania, we were proud to set our attendance record of over 100,000, which includes, by the way, ushers and ticket takers and all of that. It wasn't 101,000 paid.
Now, if we take W's word for it that there were still over 101,000 people in the buildings, including ushers and ticket takers and things of that nature, then let's subtract the number of spectators through the turnstiles, over 80,000, and we get a result of over 21,000 non-spectators. Could there really have been 21,000 staff and wrestlers and stagehands and concession workers? That seems like a lot. But anyway, the paid attendance we figured out just by looking at WWE's own self-published key performance indicators that anyone can find on their corporate website. We just did some complicated but elementary math that didn't require a graphing calculator. It wasn't exactly trigonometry. And from that, we can go across all the way back to 2008 is when they started to publish this kind of information. And we can get a range of the paid attendance for every WrestleMania going back to 2008. And you may be thinking,
oh my god, why do you care? Can't you just sit back and enjoy the product?
This happens in college football and in soccer. WWE is not the only place that exaggerates their attendance. Who cares? This is actually an interesting subject. In wrestling, which is a work sport where the winners and losers are predetermined, where there are no legitimate wins and losses, there are no legitimate performance stats. The most legitimate performance stats that there are the business numbers. And it's sort of the closest thing we can get to an objective measurement about whether something in pro wrestling was successful. Obviously, not everybody views it that way, but some do. And some of us may have even put that graph on a mug. It is a Wrestlenomics mug. And you'll notice that that graph only goes back to 2008. So no, this does not solve the holy grail problem of what was the real attendance at WrestleMania 3. Was it really 93,173? Can we confirm the Wrestling Observer Newsletter's report that the real attendance was 78,000 and somewhat less paid? That's a question with at least this data I can't answer, but maybe we'll do a video in the future tackling that question.